Welcome to the road to $1 million US. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin. And then later on in this video, we're going to move to higher and higher time frames. As always, nothing in this video is my personal opinion. I will only be showing you the objective technical analysis and nothing more than that. Since yesterday, we actually broke this ascending trend line, which is of course a warning signal, as I pointed out in yesterday's video. So since then, we saw a breakdown, a retest, and then a resumption to the downside from there. So now that that has actually played out, what should we expect next for Bitcoin? On this 2 hour time frame, I basically am looking at this as a sideways range because we just had this massive crash to the downside, and now so far we are basically seeing some choppy sideways price action. Therefore, before we can see the next move for Bitcoin, we need to see if we are either going to break below this critical level of support sitting at exactly 100k in the Bitcoin price, or if we are actually breaking through these previous highs, which currently are sitting at 104.6k. Of course, if we break through this, especially if it is with some kind of double bottom forming here, that could be a really bullish setup in the case that we break through these previous highs. But so far that is not the case, and so far this is just a sideways range for Bitcoin. Of course, the biggest warning signal is breaking through 100k. So basically we have an area to manage the risk around on this lower time frame. If I zoom out a bit to, for example, this 4 hour time frame, nothing has really changed here. This is still just in a technical downtrend, and there isn't really any important trend line in sight because the first descending trend line on this 4 hour time frame is already sitting at 107k in the Bitcoin price. So therefore it would likely take quite a bit of time or a major news event for us to actually start reversing and breaking this descending trend line. Therefore, once again, if we are looking at like the minute time frames, then this is obviously in a downtrend right now. But zooming out to this 2 hour time frame, this is actually just trading sideways in this range. However, the 4 hour time frame is also in a downtrend. So therefore, right now on the lower time frames, more signals are actually still pointing towards the downside, but there is the possibility of some kind of double bottom pattern forming here, and that is something to keep an eye on over the next 24 hours or so. Moving on to the 1 day time frame, here again, nothing has really changed. We are still waiting for a break above 115.5k, which is right here in the Bitcoin price. So long as we do not break through this level here, we remain bearish biased. So expecting that every short-term move to the upside is going to result in another rollover and lower lows being formed in the Bitcoin price. The first signal that would make me change my mind about this and maybe looking for some kind of bigger move to the upside for Bitcoin would first of all be a break above 111k, roughly speaking. That would be that first signal that we are possibly getting some reversal, but more importantly, 115.5k is the critical level to break. But as always, we will keep a close eye on some descending trend lines and stuff like this as well. If we start to see some clear reversal signals, then I will of course be pointing this out immediately in my videos as well. So no, I'm not some kind of perma bear here. I'm still open to the possibility of a reversal coming and new highs possibly even coming for Bitcoin. But right now, I'm simply not seeing those reversal signals yet. And that is why I am bearish biased at the moment. The easiest way to visualize this is simply with this descending trend line on the 2 day time frame. While we're trading below this, I'm simply bearish on the higher time frames. If we start breaking through it, that would actually open up the possibility of a bigger high time frame move coming for Bitcoin after that. As always, I will keep a close eye on this. Either way, let's move on to the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday, we saw another massive outflow from these Bitcoin ETFs. Actually, a net outflow of over $100 million in a single day of trading. Nothing has really changed here in terms of the trend. We are basically just seeing massive net outflows from these Bitcoin ETFs, which is having a downwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map then, because right here you can see that we have massive liquidity to the downside still. So currently this is sitting at around 97.8k, around this 93k level as well. So these are going to act as magnets in the Bitcoin price, so long as we are still trading below those descending trend lines on the lower and on the higher time frames. So keep these areas in mind as some potential areas of interest. Now, if I zoom in a bit to this 2-week time frame, there is a bunch of liquidity forming to the upside here, for example, around this 112K level. But zooming in even further to this 3-day time frame, you can see that we actually have liquidity on both sides. For example, sitting at around 98K, so to the downside from when I'm actually recording this video. But we also have liquidity to the upside around 105K. I think if we come all the way back to this 2-hour time frame, you can see that right here, if we actually start reversing from here and breaking through this, then potentially we could come grab some liquidity right here. But if we are then breaking out to the upside, there is more liquidity up here to actually fuel another bigger move to the upside as well. So that is why I'm keeping an eye on this area of resistance here. However, if we actually are breaking down below this critical level of support at 100K, then there is also a bunch of liquidity to the downside. So that is why this is a warning signal. So either way, this has been today's market update. Make sure to check out the links in the video description. I have a bunch of free educational resources here for you guys, like a free trading course. Even my Discord community is completely free to use as well. But besides that, you can also check out some trading bonuses and trading fee discounts on my second website, Exchange Hawks. So go ahead and check it out if you are interested in getting some lower trading fees, possibly even some big trading bonuses as well. So I highly recommend you guys go check this out. Either way, if you do end up doing that or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.